Hello, it's time for the energy update for July the 1st, 2025. So we are in the middle of an energy cycle. I think this might be a bit of a turning point actually. I think we are actually in the middle because we've got quite an interesting energy this month, and it does continue on quite nicely from June. Let's crack on in and see what we've got, because it's a very considered reading this month for us all. So our overarching energy, which is the first card I always draw, the overarching energy is the Hermit, and the Hermit talks about where we are really giving pause to what we think is wise. The energy of the Hermit is often seen as being a little uncomfortable. It certainly isn't a group dynamic card. It's very insular, and it means that there's going to be a lot of personal pondering this month as to what the best course of action might be. And it is a card that asks for no assistance. It's just very singular. So this is your own personal wisdom in play. What do you think is wise? What do you think is the best way? The interesting thing about the Hermit is that there is no big plan of action here. This isn't a case of big picture thinking. This is a case of slowly finding our way, because from the looks of it, all is not entirely clear this month. So it's very much a work in progress. And also, we can't rely on the energy. As we'll see as we move through the reading, we have some unpredictability coming into play, which is going to mean we're going to need to stay alert to really find our way. Now, one of the tropes of the Hermit card is this idea of him being led into sort of the unknown and lit by the light of his lantern. The lantern has the star, which is faith and hope and trust. All we can ever see when we're in the energy of the Hermit is the next two steps ahead. We're not able to see where any of this is leading, and that's what actually makes it most uncomfortable. But the Hermit is a card of leadership. It's not big crowd leadership, but it's leadership from a personal perspective. The Hermit card is relying on your own personal judgment to decide the best way. And that isn't going to be heavily influenced by anybody else, and in fact neither should it be. This needs to be your decision. Looking at that and looking ahead, so this is our overarching energy. So throughout the month we're going to be considering what's wise, what's best, what we should do for the best results, what indeed is the right thing to do, both for us, maybe for the people around us, or for the general environment of whatever situation we're in. So it's going to be, I think, almost a case of sort of stepping back and taking a little bit of an objective view, not like we would if we were the emperor. We're not telling everybody else what to do. We're finding our own way through a situation which I think we are potentially finding it quite difficult to navigate through. Now, it's not tremendously tumultuous, but we do need to be plotting a route through a landscape which we're not exactly sure about. So that's quite interesting, and I think we should take that quite seriously. So if that's the overarching energy, that's the landscape through which we're going to be navigating. What will serve us best on that route? How can we lean in and make the best of it? So the wise way forward here is the Six of Pentacles. Now, again, not an easy card. The Six of Pentacles is a bit of a bridge. So it is a bridge to the environment and the situation that we're building towards. It's a bridge towards what we want to create. It's a bridge towards our future. It's a bridge towards the thing that's going to make us feel confident. But while the Hermit is a one-way street, there's somebody else at play here. There are other people involved. And so what we've got is we've got an interplay. We've got a hierarchical relationship going on between you and somebody else. And this is a balance of power situation. So as we can see from the card, we have a boy and a dog. And we have to decide, as we always do in this card, who's the boy, who's the dog. Now, somebody's leading the way. Somebody's saying what has to happen. And I think that is the bit that's leaning into the Emperor. I think that's the bit that's leaning into the Hermit. You have to decide which you are, and you have to decide how to be the boy. Because you've got to be the one with the biscuit, right? You've got to be the one leading the way. If we're looking at this relationship between the boy and the dog, we have to ask ourselves, how much is on offer? How much are you willing to give? How much does the other person want? And we have this balance between you. So whatever this is, it's not going to solve the entire problem, but the Hermit is, what do you think is wise? What do you think is a fair exchange? Now, if you're a person who uses and is used to the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you can see this illustrated by the merchant, the rich guy with the scales and the money, and he is giving 2 coins to one of 2 beggars. The beggars want more. The merchant is weighing out how much he is prepared to give to the beggars. He could give more. He could. He's rich. He could give more, but he's not going to, because he wants to maintain his position. He wants to maintain his status. He wants to, whatever it is he wants to maintain, he's only going to give just enough so that he gives a bit of help, but he's not doing the whole thing. Maybe what he's doing is he's trying to inspire them. Maybe he's giving a little bit so that they will be inspired to move forward, whatever it is. He isn't solving their problem in its entirety. And if we translate that back into the life code deck, that turns into the boy who has the biscuit, the dog wants the biscuit. The boy is never going to let the dog be an equal partner in the relationship. And it is by controlling how much is given versus how much is wanted that we're going to get the best out of the month. It's not easy, thus the Hermit card. But whatever you decide is the right balance this month into your relationship with other people, probably one person in particular, how much you're able to balance the scales between you, how much they want you to do, how much they want you to give, what's fair, what's not. This is going to be a work in progress this month, but it's going to be made more difficult by the next card, which is what will get in our way, what will hinder us in this, and that is the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is a bit of a tricky card because it can be seen as karma. It can be seen as the Wheel of Fate. It can be seen as things just moving in our environment and circumstantially that are not of our making. And so there are things at play other than what we're doing. We're not in complete control here. We're just not. So there is an element of unknown about all of this, and that feels a bit precarious. And I think that feeling of like, well, I don't really know what's going to happen. I can't, I'm going to have to make a value judgment, but I can't really read the road ahead. There you are, we're back at the Hermit card. I can only see 2 steps ahead. I'm going to call it as I go, because I'm not going to be able to make all my decisions at once. I'm going to have to judge what that balance is, and I'm going to have to really tune into myself to decide what's right. The Wheel of Fortune is telling you that this is a changing landscape. So there are movable aspects to this. You can't read it, neither are you in control. So therefore you're going to have to dance with it. You're going to have to flow with it, because there isn't any other way this can play out. However, what you do makes a difference. So even though you can't control all the aspects of it, you will influence how things play out for sure. So I think July is going to be quite a tricky month to navigate through. And again, we've got this idea of a bridge. So if the 6 of Pentacles is our bridge, we've got a linking month between June and probably August as being, I think, will bring the next shift, probably, unless it's a very slow moving energy. It might be September, but I think we're going to be looking at a bit of a shift in August. But we're going to have to just steer, watch the wind, watch the weather, steer through July, making sure that we judge those balance of powers between us and other people, how much we're being asked for and how much we're prepared to give, and what is right in that right then. So what is the message from Spirit for this month? Well, we've got a bit of a lift here, haven't we? Because it's been a little bit cautious, but now we have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is rather lovely. The Knight of Cups said, follow your bliss. Do what's in your heart. Follow your happiness. Now, there is also inherent in this message as to what exactly is your bliss. What exactly do you want? You've heard me talk about this so many times. What do you want? The Knight of Cups is on an emotional mission. He wants to make his life happy. He wants to perhaps have a romantic future. He wants to be able to look at the world more romantically, to do what makes him happy, to be creative, to be loving, to be open. It's a lovely card. And when it's an advice card, it's telling you to take that seriously. What do you want? What lights you up? You should be guided by that. And if we flip that all the way back to the Hermit, we've got a couple of sort of polar opposites here, haven't we? Because the Knight of Cups is very idealistic, on a lovely idyllic journey. The Hermit, on the other hand, is very much feeling like the buck stops here and no one can help me with this. But let's look at it in a slightly different light. If our message is the Knight of Cups, then the Hermit needs to apply their thinking to that. The Hermit needs to say, if this is what makes me happy, if this is what I want my journey to be, if I am on a journey to make my life happy in the way that I want it to be, where I'm following the pursuits I want to follow, where I'm finding emotional relationships in my life that make me happy, that make me feel engaged and at home and comfortable. If I'm going to be using that as my barometer, what's wise? What do I think is the wise course of action? So we don't want to be too gritty about this. We do want to see this energy in the light of the Knight of Cups, which is us following the route to the ultimate destination that we want to create. And that Six of Pentacles is saying, watch the interplay with other people here. Watch how much is required of you. And also, perhaps we could say, if you're going to be the dog, maybe you want something from somebody else. Maybe you need help. Maybe the Hermit is saying to you, you need to ask for help if you need it. You need to bring in help in order for you to do what you want to do. You need to bring other people in to enable you to be in control. That puts a slightly different spin on it, doesn't it? Perhaps this isn't you I think it is you metering out how much you give, but I also think that it's you asking for help if you need it, because you're going to feel quite on your own this month. And I think that potentially might be a mistake, because when we look at that bridge, when we look at that balance between how much you've got to give, how much is needed, how much I need, how much is on offer, what do you need, and who can help you with that? They're not going to do it all for you, no way, but they might be able to help a bit. You've got to look at this as a bridge. You've got to look at this. Don't feel that you're on your own this month. You're not. Sure, you probably do need to be making the ultimate decisions, but you cannot make this a one-person show. It's just not going to work. So as we look at the Wheel of Fortune, again, when we relate it back, we can see that it's that interplay which is going to make the difference. How much you're willing to ask for help, and how much you're willing to look at how much you can give and how much somebody else wants of you or is requiring of you. It's complicated, but it's not that complicated, because you know, really. We all know, really. We've got to make our own decisions, but we will know what the right thing is, because we've got to decide our why. Why do we want to do this? If we had strength on the table, which we don't, I would be telling you to do everything in alignment with your goal, but in a way, the Knight of Cups is also leaning into that. It's telling you you can have a romantic vision. You don't just have to tough it out. Now is the time for you to think about what would make you happy. Why not? Why not now? And that Six of Pentacles is your bridge. It's your tipping point. Now is the time to start moving towards it. It's interesting, isn't it, that we've got the Hermit, which is major arcana ruled by the Suit of Wands, and we've got the Wheel of Fortune, major arcana ruled by the Suit of Wands, and they're working together. You've got to decide this month what you think is wise in an energy that you can't control or predict. You're going to have to flow with it. Quite a nuanced reading. I'll be very interested to see what comes up for you this month. But please do pay special attention to the Knight of Cups, because that's your why. What is your idealistic vision of where you want to be heading? And let that be your navigational true north. Good. Lovely. Well, let's see where we are next month. Geoff and I are going to be hitting the road in the month ahead, which is going to be interesting. And I'm sure that this is going to be a big part of that energy for me and us as we travel, trying to get the balance right. And we've got no idea what's going to happen. Let's see where we go, and let's see what happens for you. Feedback to me your thoughts. Let's see how much this resonates. I hope it's helpful. Don't forget, I'm always here for a reading if you need one, and if you want to learn tarot, do reach out for me. I have lots of different ways I can help you with that. I have a subscription membership which will help you. I have a one-day workshop which I think you'll love, and I have an amazing deck which I also know you'll love. So I'll love you and leave you. I will see you soon. Let's all just lean in, eh? Bye-bye for now. Hello, thank you for watching our video. If you're interested in the world of tarot and would like to explore further and would like to know how to bring tarot to life so that it makes sense in the real world, I'd like to invite you to explore the Tarot Tribe. The Tarot Tribe is my personal membership, and inside you'll find a community of tarot students just like you, lots of bite-sized mini courses, a new one every month, and new spreads, demo videos, a clinic with me every month, and also discounts on readings with me once a quarter. So if you'd like to explore that, I would love to see you on the inside. Here's the link. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye for now.